Stop holding back, or you're gonna get us both killed.
I'm not holding back.
Yes, you are. She's trying to kill you, Mark. If you don't do this, we're all dead. You, me, your brother, and every single Thraxan on this planet. Remember what I told you.
In this video, I need you to have and keep an open mind and really listen to what I'm saying first before calling me another Invincible hater. Because at the end of the day, why would I watch the show if I hated it? I wouldn't be criticizing it if I didn't like the show. You wouldn't see me make an entire video and say, Has-Been Hotel, because that's not what I watched, nor do I dedicate any amount of time into it or its fandom. The holding back thing needs to either have a complete reset on what it means to hold back or stop altogether. Because as it stands right now, it's used so horribly wrong, and hardly does it ever have a good reason to be present as something a character needs to do. Before we get into the real nitty-gritty, we need to understand what it means to hold back. We can agree holding back in this context is the act of intentionally stopping or hindering oneself from the strongest or best in something because of either fear, arrogance, pity, or a mix of all. Fear as in, for example, scared of losing control of yourself or the situation and acting more force than necessary. Arrogance in the sense that you believe the opponent or situation isn't worth your best because you far outrank them generally in said situation, and pity in believing you shouldn't go all out on someone because you believe they don't deserve to be hurt or finished off, which is kind of similar to the arrogant part but a little less malicious. It's very important I emphasize the intentional part of holding back to remind you that this is a conscious choice character is making. Otherwise you're not holding back, you're being held back, or you just wasn't ever that strong to begin with. Keep that in mind, alright? Intentional. What is the point of making a strong and durable character designed to seem as though they can essentially destroy anything and everyone if they only choose to, if you start to backtrack almost immediately when you realize they can't or shouldn't lose a fight or situation you put them in? And the reasoning you give is, he's holding back. Invincible is back once again for a 4th season, and so far I'm kind of loving it. I haven't been this engrossed and interested in a show or movie since like Breaking Bad, and I honestly couldn't tell you why it has me so hooked. It's to the point where I was up at 6 AM Wednesday waiting for the next episode to drop. I'm not gonna lie and say it's flawless. I mean, the animation talk has been done to death, and plus, I'm making this video, aren't I? The idea of holding back is really dumb, and I can't say it's getting under my skin because it's already gotten under my skin and is going deeper as more and more media continue to use it. Pause. So, main character Mark Grayson, nearly full-blooded Viltrumite, son of this man right here. It's ridiculous to say or believe that he should come out the womb taking nuclear blasts to the face, moving asteroids the size of Texas like his pops. Meaning, I'm not really watching to see him do anything like Omni-Man day one. He's clumsy, he's new to this, and I will say I like how they slowly build up his strength and power as the series progresses. Nothing special, but it's cool to watch nonetheless, you know? Everyone knows Invincible is almost primarily holding back at any given moment, aside from some select moments. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with doing that, especially when the task at hand doesn't require a city-leveling punch, just because you technically can. Where we start to have an issue is when you holding back is actively causing more damage, more harm, more deaths every second you decide, I don't really have to try. For example, Season 4, Mark fighting off the Flaxans again, getting double teamed by these 2 robots while civilians get kidnapped and die as hundreds upon hundreds more pile through the portal. They're clearly fighting tooth and nail as you can feel the stress between the Guardian, Cecil, and the people running for their lives. And what is the strongest hero in the world? The one who fought off the city-leveling conquest not too long ago, ate multiple attacks from his father, another insanely strong, terrifying Viltrumite. Wild, mind you, he just recently got his powers. What is he doing during this attack? Cosplaying as a tennis ball for these 2 robots. How kind of him. Sure, these were specifically made to deal with Omni-Man, or so that's what Robot tells us, but you're really gonna tell me a few punches from these guys is enough to get Invincible to bleed out this much? Not even just that, but dude, get it together. You know the Flaxans, they do not give up and they aren't afraid to kill anyone on a whim. You've seen them before, this isn't your first rodeo, pick up the pace, wake up. What was all that training for? Your team is struggling, and like I said, the city is suffering. Use your super speed to dodge their attacks. If you can't outright destroy them, at least break their thrusters so they're mostly crippled, and then toss them away.
Anyone else ever puts my family or anyone I love at risk, I won't hesitate to kill them.
How can you say this and then do this? Another recent example is the fight with Mr. Liu. Oliver is getting his bug ass kicked by this dragon close to death because his brother decided to become a living punching test dummy for these reoccurring enemies. But anyway, Mark quite literally gets saved by the bell and goes on to help out Oliver. And I gotta admit, they are giving him the hands. Is it Mark's best work in order to finish this fight without hesitation or damage or time, or money, or resource. No, we both know this dragon isn't taking a hit like this or this. Yes, I know he can regenerate, but that's neither here nor there. Here's where the issue comes up. Something I immediately raised my eyebrow at is after Leo tried to escape, realizing he's going to lose, Mark just stops trying to chase him down. The dragon that threatened his brother right in front of him, the same dragon who he has fought before and knows how dangerous and strong he is, what does he do? Don't even guess, because you probably already know what he does. He goes for Titan and starts beating the crap out of him because he put his brother in danger. Not because he was directly attacking his brother, but because he put him in danger. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, he called for you to help.
No Invincible, no deal.
And you sent Oliver instead. Okay, maybe you didn't know it was him, but the same Titan who hired his company to help him out, Mark felt he should kill him because Oliver was in a life-threatening situation that Titan was also in. But now there's no hesitation, and it's really inconsistent because he was literally about to kill this dinosaur guy who didn't even hurt anyone, and his only real crime was property damage, which Mark does a lot of. But yeah, he's more worthy of death than Liu, right? I'm far from the only one to notice, and I most likely won't be the last person to point this out, but when you hold back, it's basically saying, I can end this at any point. At the very least, I can end this faster than I currently am. Do you hear how ridiculous that is? Why aren't you ending it? What do you gain from dragging out this fight unnecessarily? Especially because every held back hit, strike, throw is causing damage to buildings, putting lives at risk, taking resources and time, which you and Earth have a very limited amount of. And before you say, you know what, don't even say anything because there's generally no excuse. Here's a child Oliver one-tapping the Mahler twins, and season 2 Mark getting beat down by a few of them. But there's more and they're jumping him. Look at these weak ass hits. You're not telling me he's trying here. And if you still don't see the problem with everything I just said, allow me to paint a picture. Imagine you and your bro are fighting zombies day and night. This is a zombie apocalypse. You two had some very close near-death calls to the point where you lost a leg, but you're just happy you're alive and can still fight. So, random day you come across your bro fighting off zombies because he sees a child and mother in danger. As you're about to go help, you see him pull off a crazy maneuver of power and one-shots them as if they were nothing but an annoyance. So you go up to him and ask, could you always do that? He says, yeah, but I was just holding back. Why? Where was this hustle when I needed it? Remember, you lost a leg for this and your bro was holding back, which only means he didn't consider yours or his well-being much at all. That's the only conclusion you can come up to, right? Why else would he purposely drag out a fight or altercation that he could easily end if he wanted to, knowing lives are at stake? Don't get it twisted, I'm not saying Mark should just blow up every head and stomach of every bad guy, but he shows he can end fights if he wanted to, like in these moments. But a lot of the time he just decides not to. Now, let me just reiterate, holding back mostly means using less strength than necessary for arrogance or pity reasonings, knowing you can end this fight way sooner than you are. Holding back does not mean not using your entire strength. For example, hammering in a nail doesn't require you to reach your hand back and scream, putting your entire force into it, but the measured strong hits needed to drive the nail in is necessary. You still don't get it? Okay. Mark is supposed to be the diamond in the rough Viltrumite, the one that completely opposes every single other of his own race, the one who never fell for the Viltrumite propaganda that his father and his fellow Viltrumites tried to teach him. Like, he's up until recently the only Viltrumite that isn't full-blooded. Yet in a lot of cases he fights like he has all the time in the world, as if there were no consequences to him dragging it out, while knowing exactly what's at stake. In fact, he knows more about the danger he and everyone on the planet is more than anyone else. So if he fights like he doesn't care, why should I? Why should I care about him winning the fight, saving lives, if he doesn't show that he also cares?
Anyone else ever puts my family or anyone I love at risk, I won't hesitate to kill them.
He tells us this, that he cares, but it seems really selective, rather than the plain, this is how it's going to be from now on messaging this is trying to show. And just to branch out into the viewer experience and away from the in-universe experience, immersion is imperative to any sort of art. Being immersed into a story, art, music, anything fiction is what tricks your brain into forgetting this is a bunch of pencil and pen scrapings being quickly switched out, regular people talking to themselves in a studio, reading off a paper another regular person wrote, which is based off a collection of drawn pictures and written text from 20 years ago. It's why shows, movies, books, games have set rules they create using our world's baseline that we can understand and relate to, of course given our suspension of disbelief. Which is why we can and enjoy really theorizing and wondering about details of a story, character, or setting, even if and when technically the creators have not said or written anything about it, meaning it really just doesn't exist since it's all fictional. and anything we see and hear is what the writers and creators want us to see and hear. That being said, when you have set rules and dialogue set within the show, game, or book, and you for whatever reason break or fail to stay consistent within them, whether it's laziness, forgetfulness, or simply not caring, that among other things break immersion. Because instead of asking the in-universe questions like, wow, how does that work? Or this character's cool, I wonder what their backstory is. You know, immersive questions about the inside, the story. You are asking, why the hell did this scene about Mark wanting to deal with every threat as serious as possible exist, and then not do that with every subsequent villain? Or why is the animation so much worse than the first season? Or why is he losing this fight if he's supposed to be this strong? Which, these are critiques of the outside, the quality of the writing, the decisions where the budget is spent, etc. We should not be asking or wondering about this part of the story, nor does the creator want you to. This is also why arguments like, just enjoy the story, it doesn't matter, and there are flying characters and power consistency is the most unbelievable thing, just don't work, and it's honestly a self-report on your ability to tell the difference between poor writing and fantasy. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on this. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe you agree. However, if your argument is anything under the lines of, it's just a show, don't be surprised if I don't respond.
Hey, do me a favor real quick. Just, go down there. There you go. And, hit that button. No, not that one, not that one. There you go. Nice. Good job. Also hit that one. Yeah, like that, just like that. And you see that right there? Yeah, go ahead and watch that one too.